So in case you haven't heard from literally every other One Piece YouTuber already, we are finally beginning the 4 Yonkou war arc, and I would assume it's going to be more of a saga because I can't imagine it being like a 2 to 3 year arc like Dressrosa and having to battle all 4 Yonkou. That wouldn't make any sense, obviously, but I'm sure a lot of people are probably assuming that based on the fact that we only have like I think 30% of the series of One Piece remaining, which I'll cover later. But right now, I just want to discuss what this could mean in terms of the future. Now, in my personal opinion, when I first saw this, I thought it was just like kind of an obvious announcement of Oda basically saying, we're done with Doflamingo, we're done with Hody Jones, we're done with Caesar, all the little guys of the New World. We are now beginning to fight the big guys, almost like when we had the Paradise Saga, where we were fighting like Arlong, you know, little guys like that. Then we got to the Warlords. I think that is what basically this is going to be. Now we're going to fight basically the New World equivalent of the Warlords, which is of course the Yonkou. But getting back to the whole arc versus saga comparison, we don't exactly know how much longer One Piece is going to run for. We got to remember that Oda is not always in the healthiest of states, and we got to remember that he's got to constantly take these breaks, which people complain about, basically so that he can stay alive and not overwork himself. I know that Jump is probably getting on him about this whole thing because if you remember a while back, he was having these health issues and he had to go to the hospital multiple times and have all sorts of surgery from what I remember. But you got to consider, even if there's like 7 to 8 years worth of content left, we're probably going to have even longer than that to actually finish the actual series because we're going to have plenty of probably breaks if Oda's health continues down this path, and it's going to take a while to officially finish the series. And another factor is, even if Oda himself says that there's only 30% of the series remaining, you gotta remember that when he first started One Piece, he did say it wasn't gonna be that long. But now One Piece has been well over 10 years, probably nearing 20 years now. So it's gonna be a pretty long time until we see the end of the series. Maybe not as long as like another 50% remaining, but it may be a lot longer than what people who wanna rush the series a little bit more are hoping for. And I really hope these upcoming Yonkou arcs aren't really rushed because you gotta remember, Luffy now has a fleet, and I guarantee you he's gonna call that fleet during the Kaido arc because Kaido is a Yonkou, he has a fleet as well. It's not just gonna be Kaido and some henchmen, it's gonna be Kaido, his underlings, and his army, and then he's gonna have allies, of course, like Whitebeard, most likely. So unlike arcs like Punk Hazard that were a lot smaller, it's gonna end up being huge wars from now on. And that's why it was called the Throne Wars. It's going to be the battle for power of the New World. And we're going to end up needing probably around the same amount of time we had for Dressrosa to fully have these individual Yonkou arcs, alright? Because we sort of had Punk Hazard as development for Dressrosa. I guarantee you we're going to have some development to Kaido, some development for Big Mom, which is most likely what this whole Sanji marriage thing is leading up to. And then after this saga, we're probably going to have one last saga about the final war between the world government itself and the whole Raftel finding and One Piece. Is going to be the battle for the world, basically. And I think at this point, Luffy will have most likely dominated the Yonkous to a degree. At least to the point where he himself is Yonkou level, if not maybe higher, and has his own territory in the New World. Because you got to remember, he did say he was going to take Fishman Island for himself. So he will have territory most likely. He's just not going to conquer it or rule over it like a dictator would. But anyway, these are just my thoughts. And honestly, I didn't find this too surprising. It did kind of confirm, I guess, for us that there's nothing really small that's going to happen anymore. It's going to be, you know, huge Yonkou battles from now on. It's not going to be just little warlords, I guess. And I'm pretty excited. If you're excited, write in the comment section down below. Tell me what your thoughts are. Subscribe if you already haven't, and I will see you all later.